Welcome back to the Unanimous Decision Podcast. I am your host, DPalm. Follow me on Twitter at DPalm66. Follow the show on Twitter at UDPod. Follow the entire MTR Network at the MTR Network. You found us at Lose to Subscribe anywhere you're listening to this. On iTunes, on Spotify, subscribe where you can do that. Leave a 5-star review. We'll read it on the air. We appreciate those. Last week, I had on someone who couldn't really hurt me with the Georgia kind of repeated debacling. And this week, I've scheduled someone who will hurt me with it because he knows what he's talking about. We've got Michael Felder from Stadium, at In the Bleachers, your favorite tweeter's favorite tweeter. How's it going, man?
Man, I am living the dream. Got some Nike Concords, so we're good. It doesn't get better.
What I like about this is that eventually, you do college football. That's you. That's what you do, and we are going to talk about that. But yeah. I was looking at the stuff I have listed on, I have so much other stupid shit to talk about before we get to any of the things where you can legitimately probably hurt my feelings. But before I get to anything,
hurt your feelings.
Okay, honesty isn't great at this point right now. Just so you know, I'm not dealing great with reality and kind of realizations. But we'll get to all that nonsense before we get to anything. Even anything I emailed you. So I've got this new theory that Becky Lynch is Steve Austin in the internet era.
Yeah.
The fact that you're noticing stuff from her, I love it. She's the man.
Yeah, I don't follow wrestling. I'm not into it.
Nope.
But she brings real flames. She's unbelievable. And her gassing up, I call her Ashley because I know her. Everyone else calls her Charlotte. Her just flaming Charlotte is just, wow, okay.
The tweet, I guess it was yesterday, I missed it yesterday, but where I guess Charlotte called out Becky in a promo about missing time as the champ. It must be nice to do this because they're the knowledge that I know that they're best friends behind the scenes in real life makes it more okay.
Yeah. Otherwise, this is just literally setting someone's house on fire while you know they're
so uncomfortable. It would be so much more uncomfortable if I didn't know they had a friendship.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And it's working. What's crazy is before the Big Four events, no one cares. They have this thing called Access, where basically you pay as a fan to get signatures, get photos with certain superstars, and they always have the big, probably the top of the card up there. And this year for Royal Rumble, it's in Phoenix, I believe. The Royal Rumble Access people were Daniel Bryan, Shinsuke Nakamura, Dean Ambrose, and Becky Lynch. Those are the first 4 that went on sale. Daniel Bryan is probably the biggest pro wrestler in the world, current world champion. His story made SportsCenter and all these other big outlets. Shinsuke Nakamura was a champion in Japan, worldwide superstar. Dean Ambrose is a member of the Shield, one of the biggest factions ever. Becky Lynch's Access sold out in 90 seconds.
Wow. She's a star. She's a star.
It's getting a little I hope, and it's one of those things where it's in their best interest to do it right, but you just pray that they don't screw it up.
Yes.
And it's not like you have, of course, injuries happen. She got her face broken by Nia Jax, and that set off some things. But I honestly think she's playing it for the good because her not being in the ring makes her the attraction.
Yeah, she's a
star. She has to talk. She has to be on Twitter making fun of Charlotte because she says, I missed 1 week because I got my face broken. And then she put a picture of Charlotte and said, I can't remember what you missed a month for. And no one talks about it on air, obviously. And the fact that Becky, wow, it's lighting someone's house on fire. You're entirely right.
Yeah, unbelievable. It's unreal. I'll read her tweets. That's all I need.
Well, let's go from fake fights to faker fights. The challenge is wrapped up. It's, I guess, what they're calling now, maybe retroactively decided as a trilogy, but a Dirty 30 trilogy. Did you watch this season?
Watched it off and on. Obviously, My wife is the bigger fan. She knows everything. I am a bystander, merely following along. And, man, where are they finding these people?
It's funny because there was a point way more recently than I'm to admit, I was watching the Real World because as strictly as a feeder system to the challenge, I was like,
yes,
good endurance. She's got the drama. She brings the crazy. Like Tony
but
Reigns
are
is
you watching all these other shows?
absolutely not. I wouldn't watch Are You the One if it was the only thing on television. I would break my television.
Oh, we watch Are You the One?
Are you really?
Well, my wife watches it, and then I see it sometimes.
Of course. I'm not a Big Brother person. I'm not. For
No,
me, my reality intake is the challenge. And when I say the challenge, I also include the Real World because I consider that, like I said, it's the minors where Tony Reigns' Real World season, if you've never seen it.
I've seen it.
But I'm just saying to people listening, if you've never seen it and you're interested at all in what we're talking about, Tony Reigns' Real World season is batshit insane.
He's a moron.
And he ends up marrying, spoilers, proposing to, at least, let's not get ahead of ourselves, proposing to the girl who comes and refuses to leave the house when she's visiting him in his season.
That he cheated on. And then went home and got pregnant, and then cheated on her more with someone else and got someone else pregnant, and then proposed to her. Yeah. Yep.
Tony Reigns is the father of nations.
This guy he's bad.
But I couldn't be happier for his, I guess, what's going to be his wife. Good luck. I honestly think that he proposed on Challenge Television so that they would pay for his wedding like they probably did for CT.
For sure.
This was a final, and the challenge, we can speak to the quality of the last few seasons. I would say this final was full of the most unlikable cast members ever, and I was just like, just end it. I was really glad the final was one episode.
Yeah, I like Ashley because I think she does have a brain, but
which is terrifying because she lasted on her Real World season approximately an episode and a half.
Yeah, but like Hunter's a moron. Like it's bad.
Yeah,
it's bad.
Normally I skip the reunions. I actually watched the reunion this year. Shouldn't have done it. Wasting my time.
Oh, I'm not. I haven't. We haven't. It hadn't come up for us yet, so I'm not going to watch it.
Yeah, it was fine. The people yelled. Devin rehashed everything again and again, and yeah, it wasn't great. But it made me think about something. If you had to bet on a challenge final team, and there were 3 people on the team, and one had to be a woman, who is your team that you would put all your money on?
Oh, this is very easy for me. I saw this and I was like, do I need to put thought into this? Because I got this.
Wow.
I'm going Zach, CT, and Laurel.
Okay. See, yeah. You went a different way than I did, but I like what you got there because there's no competition as far as like if you got to a puzzle, both of them are turning to Laurel.
Yeah, 100%. And Laurel is the strongest girl ever.
Oh, trust me. There's a lot of overlap in our team because my team is Laurel, Carmery, and Bananas.
You've got 2 major game players there.
I'm okay with that because I'm not asking him to play for a season. I'm asking him to run a final.
Okay.
And see what you love, Bananas? I know the man can finish a final. I know he can win a final.
That is true. Zach.
The experience factors. Zach is that little wobbly tire on yours, man.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. I thought about Johnny Bananas, but I just don't like him. I'll never put him on.
It's so bad. That's how bad this season was. It turned me into a Bananas fan.
Yeah, it's bad.
I didn't like it. I didn't like it one bit at the end. I was like, I'm cheering for Bananas and Tony Reigns. I never thought
they got to revamp this thing.
They've really got to take it back to the drawing board, see. But the thing is, with this, you can't bring in these outsiders. Like, I do not care about these British people.
Oh, they are horrible.
They are a scourge.
Yeah, get them out. That's how they keep getting new viewers.
It's true, and I can't. And that's the thing is, I can't say not to do it because I know it's probably what's keeping this whole damn thing afloat.
I mean, I'll tell you what, man. If they go deeper into the Bad Girls Club world, I could get with that because I did watch that show for many seasons.
See, I had no idea you'd have Rex. Like, this is interesting.
Yeah, Bad Girls Club. The season with what's her name, Kaylee, who comes on after someone gets kicked out, and Kaylee, she really could have just beat up. She did karate. She could have beat up everyone in the house, but she let them ride her. They go with some Natalie Nunn. Natalie Nunn is one of the worst people ever on Bad Girls Club. Like, they can go deep into Bad Girls Club.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
And if they're going to do an extra season of Challenge, I just want to ask that we just leave Nelson at home. I'm done. I'm done with Nelson.
Listen, I don't know if he's ever opened a book.
Nelson might be the dumbest person in Challenge history, and I know what I'm saying.
He's a great looking dude.
He aesthetically, I get why they keep bringing him on, but you do know that he has to talk. Like, you guys get that.
I think if he saw a book, he would put it under a door because that's what he thinks it's for.
He's very confusing, man. He somehow manages a strip club in Houston. I wish I didn't know that, but I do.
Wow, that's amazing.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, who's running the book? Who's doing the books? Like, who is robbing him blind?
Somebody is fleecing him.
Somebody is robbing Nelson blind.
All day. All day. I want to see some Real Housewives get in on this. Let's break a hit.
See, the thing is, if we bring in Real Housewives, first of all, someone's going to get really hurt. And this is the show where Tony lost his spleen like 2 seasons ago. Which, if I'm talking about you losing a body part in your back,
yeah,
and you're proposing on their airwaves,
they don't have real jobs. They need money.
Tony really needs money. Tony's got child support payments for days.
He's got 2 kids. 2 kids that are like the same age.
The exact same age. Reigns. Well, let's talk before we get any deeper into the reality of the challenge. I do want to ask you about this. You were one of the last few baseball fans alive. Still, props for that. Apparently, the Red Sox are going to visit the White House, and that's not a story because it's the Red Sox and it's this White House, but it is a story because Alex Cora has been openly, antagonistic might be too strong, but he's been very vocal in his opinions about the denizens of the White House and the treatment of his native Puerto Rico.
Yeah. Well, Alex Cora says he wants to use it to have a conversation, obviously. But we'll see what happens. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Like, I'm not not surprised that they're going. I feel like that's sort of that. Like, it'd be like if the Patriots win the Super Bowl, they're going to go too.
Well, they did go, and Brady skipped it, which was weird.
Yeah. So it's going to be. I don't even think it's going to be interesting. I think it's going to be one of those things where the only way it will be newsworthy or noteworthy will be if Alex Cora can get Trump to pitch a fit.
Right.
That's the only way. And I don't know if that'll happen because I think people will kind of whisk him away before
of course, yeah.
Big Mac Boy gets upset.
What's even funnier though is that so we all heard like them not invite the Warriors pointedly and then rescind the invitation for the Eagles pointedly. The Capitals said that everyone would come. That visit still hasn't happened.
Oh, they're not. Not at all. They live there. They're not going.
I get that this is a thing, and like because it became a thing, now it's a thing that's not happening. But this could be the thing. The one maybe positive of the Trump presidency is that we wipe out these ridiculous White House visits in the first place.
Yeah, like Ovechkin is the guy rocking the rainbow flag at Pride.
Yeah,
he's not. Like, they're not going.
It's all very strange, and there's not going to be a conversation started like unless you're right. Certain people pitch fits, but I don't think that's going to happen. I just don't think it's going to happen. It's too controlled Environment. This is going to be. It's one of those things that it's a story when people talk about it, but when it actually happens, no one gives a damn.
No, because it's like one of those things you have to do, and then you get out of it.
Exactly, 100%. I don't know how close you've been following this Markel Fultz thing in Philadelphia.
He's hurt.
Well, he's hurt, but like this is a thing that happened between his end of college career, beginning of NBA. It just looked like he forgot how to shoot. People were hypothesizing it was the yips. A diagnosis from his agent said that it was diagnosed as neurogenic thoracic outlet syndrome, a physical injury affecting the nerves between the neck and shoulder. No one's ever heard of it. I'm sure that it's a legitimate diagnosis. But if you're Markel Fultz and you've been under the care of Sixers doctors for 2 years and you have this diagnosis from outside their care, what the hell?
Yeah. Well, well, I think the big thing is we got to remember team doctors are interested in the team, which is interested in just getting him out on the feet, back on the court as quickly as they can. So you find the quickest route there, and they kept getting him. He felt healthy enough to play, but then just couldn't really do anything because he has, essentially bad connections between the nerves. So due to the inflammation, the irritation, and so he doesn't have good connection. He doesn't have good control over what he's trying to do. And I think for him, it's obviously it's got to be tough, but it's going to be. This is a long road back to being like fully healthy.
Do you think that? So this is a diagnosis that apparently has been plaguing him for a while, but it's just now coming to light, or just not being, I guess, diagnosed properly. Do we say that's the team not doing their due diligence, or is it? A finger is going to get pointed.
Sure.
Because for someone to be injured for 2 years and no one to figure it out in your team, like if I'm another Sixers player, that doesn't engender a whole bunch of trust in the training staff?
I think that obviously, I think the team doctor is someone that you look to. I don't think this is nearly as egregious as like Sharif Floyd, who went in for a knee scope. They went in and did micro fracture surgery to him, and then he ended up not being able to play for like a year and a half. So I don't think this is that. I think this is just, it's not an injury that happens in basketball, really. Yeah. And so they don't even think to look for that or to diagnose it. Like if he's playing baseball, I think this is a quick diagnosis. Because like this is a pitching injury.
That's really, I hadn't even thought about it that way.
I think if he's playing baseball, this is a thing that we diagnose quick. But because it's basketball, they go through the basic checklist and nothing comes up. They're like, no, you're fine. Let's go play. Because he did still have good strength to go above his head. He still had good range of motion, so all those things, but he didn't have good control over it all. And I think, obviously, we think about it from a shooting motion, from a shooting standpoint, where things look off, but he's still able to find a way to make some shots fall. So what's going on here versus being a pitcher where you consistently can't put the ball over the plate? There's a lot smaller window, so you look for more things. And I know I'm familiar with it because of Matt Harvey, who went to UNC, who obviously played for the Mets. He had the same injury, and it's because of that over-the-head motion. And it's one of those things that I think in baseball you look for it. In basketball, this has never come up before, so you don't think about it.
That's really interesting. That's and I think that's a lot of the ways that the differentiation, like what healthy means for different sports.
Yeah, for 100%.
You're 100% right, because when you're talking about basketball or football, you're talking about the large muscle groups.
Yeah.
And when you talk baseball, you want to talk about those fine mechanics. That's really, it's an interesting way to look at it. I hadn't thought about it that way. I do have to start. I guess it's time, and it's safe for me now to be honest. I am a Falcons fan, but I may have wagered a fair amount of money that they weren't going to win 8 games this year. And the person I made the bet with, I called him after we lost to the Browns. I said, hey, man, I'll let you out for half the bet right now. He said no. And I was like, well, all right. And the bet was 8.5. The line was 8.5 wins for the Falcons, and now that they've lost 8 games, I can talk about this bet safely on the internet. Does this make me a bad fan or just a smart gambler?
No, it makes you smart. Like I think the smartest thing a fan can do is recognize that their team isn't good.
Right?
Yeah.
Like my Sundays have been a lot more stress-free since that Browns game.
Yeah, like listen, there is no if you're a Cleveland Browns fan that wakes up every day thinking you're going to win the Super Bowl, hey buddy, you're an idiot. Wow, I think waking up every day, I would rather be right than loyal.
There you go.
Every day of the week. I'd rather be right than loyal. Don't make decisions with your head, not your heart.
Oh, and because we're here, I guess we have to do this. Today is the Atlanta United playing for some sort of cup. I believe it's the MLS Cup. I'm obligated as an Atlanta citizen to say that I'm cheering for them, but because it's Atlanta, it's going to end poorly and they're going to be sad, so I'm not really cheering that hard.
What is the sport?
Soccer.
They're still playing MLS soccer right now?
Atlanta, it's the championships in Atlanta today. I
thought this was a summer sport.
it has really taken over Atlanta. I have a lot of feelings that I can't really get into right now.
That's good. I just didn't know.
What's not good is they bumped the high school playoffs that would be in the Dome today for the soccer game, and a lot of people are saying, "Oh, it's so important for civic." Guys, Arthur Blank stole about $600 million in tax money to build that stadium.
Yeah.
Let's let the taxpayers use it first.
Yeah, I would not. They bumped the high school football in Georgia.
Yo, thank you.
That's crazy for soccer.
That's nuts. Thank you.
Listen, I'm gonna tell you right now. There's a lot of Jim Bobs and there is a lot of Leons that are not through.
Yo, some people are not getting reelected off of the back of this.
Listen,
this costs a lot of local government seats. It's just it.
Jamal wanted to see his kid play, and so did Ricky Bobby, and that's not going to go well.
You can't make them both mad.
They're both mad at you.
You can't make them both mad.
Wow, that's nuts. I would have never have guessed that in a million years.
It's and the thing is, like, I've had to be quiet about it because the soccer fans are loud on the internet.
Very loud.
Like the Atlanta United folks, like, because Franco's one of them.
Oh.
And so I've got and I know he sees what I say. So I've been like, I don't want to have that argument because you're going to tell me how important Atlanta United is, and I'm going to tell you, Felder, no soccer is still happening.
That's crazy. I did not. Well, like, I'm not anti-soccer.
No, neither am I. Neither am I. This is not an anti-soccer place. This is a place where I'm like, hey, man, like, the taxpayers, like, paid for this. Like, come on, man.
Man.
You robbed us.
High school football?
In Georgia.
Let me write this down because we're going to put this on the show on Monday.
It's insane. People got, like, I said some shit. I was out in public and said this out loud to people, and it did not go over well.
That's crazy. I can't, like, I'm just sitting over here being like, that's crazy.
There's a paradigm shift in Atlanta, and there's a certain.
It's not a summertime sport?
I don't know what to tell you.
I just want to. I'm now on the Seattle Sounders website looking for the schedule. They don't even have a schedule up for 2018. What are we doing? We gotta go to Atlanta Football Club.
Atlanta United. While you look that up, I have to ask you something. Of all the names you were going to hear as a starting quarterback in 2018 in the NFL, Mark Sanchez was not on the list, was it?
No, because he's bad.
Yo, you hear they signed as his backup?
Who? Josh
Johnson.
No. Really? Good for Josh. I mean, good for Josh Johnson. He keeps getting money, but man. So you're telling me they play from March until December? I just found the schedule.
Yeah.
Because I remember being in Oregon. I remember being in Washington in May and Oregon in July, and the Sounders and whatever the team is in Portland both playing, and I was like, that sport should be over by now. That's crazy.
And it's ruining my attempts to go into the city today. Like I have a thing to do this afternoon. I just don't want to do it because I have to drive to the city.
Nice.
It's not great. So Josh Johnson, he is now an NFL quarterback again, getting paid.
Again.
Go ahead.
I said again.
He has not appeared in an NFL game since 2013.
Nice.
He's had 5 starts in his career. He's never won a game. 4 of those 5 starts happened in 2009.
Listen, man.
His last NFL regular season pass attempt was 2011.
11-year career. Getting it done.
He is having to defer his employment with the Alliance of American Football because he was drafted by the San Diego Fleet, Felder.
Hey, man. Listen, I can't hate on this guy.
I'm not hating on him. What I am saying is this exhibit like triple Z in the collusion case for Colin Kaepernick?
I don't know. They're going to be like, it can't be collusion because he's black too.
Yo, Felder. when they said they needed a specific skill set to back up Mark Sanchez, who was backing up Alex Smith, who had his job taken by Colin Kaepernick. I was like, look, guys, you need to find different words to tell me why you're to lie to me.
They can never change. The
stylistic, I'm like, yo, that's Alex Smith. I know who took his job. You know how he got here? Because Colin Kaepernick took his job.
Yeah, and then Pat Mahomes.
Like, you can't tell me stylistically. Like, that, for me, that was the line I was just like, oh, wow, we're not even trying to. Y'all are just Control V.
Yeah, this is bad.
Like, I don't know what happens to the, like, everyone's talking about, like, oh, people getting hit, that's going to change the NFL. This collusion case is going to be really bad.
It's not going to go great for them. And I think the biggest issue is there's this idea that the little stuff that matters to fans is what matters to a judge. And I think that's the biggest disconnect here is this concept of, well, we did enough so the fans weren't upset, or we did enough so that these specific fans weren't upset. And I don't think that they realize that that's not how legality works.
Right. Let's talk about some more of the NFL because people talk about Defensive Player of the Year, and I guess the big three has come down as J.J. Watt, Khalil Mack, and Aaron Donald. Can Aaron Donald, an interior defensive lineman, win this in 2018?
I mean, he should. He's the best defensive player in the NFL. Khalil Mack probably close second in my view. But it's I think people are finally starting to recognize that Aaron Donald is a freak. I mean, he's otherworldly what he's able to do on that defensive line, and they move him around a little bit, which I think helps with generate some numbers, but also show some versatility. Mack, by the way, is obviously I see Khalil Mack jerseys every single day.
Oh, I bet.
Basically, he's just an insane talent. Good grief. So no, I think to me it's Mack versus Donald. I hope Donald wins, mostly because I've been a Donald guy since forever, and I'd like to be right. And I like that. So to me it's a no-brainer.
Okay, for me, I think you're right. Aaron Donald should get it, but you and I both know how people don't really appreciate a lot of interior line play. Like,
right, it's all they care about is stats. But I think because of the way the Rams play, I think that he might be able to generate some numbers. Like he is generating numbers.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's the league leader in sacks.
Oh no, I get that. I'm just saying, like, because I'm the king of the Geno Atkins fan club.
Yeah.
And I think he's probably one of the top 5 defensive players in the league, and Aaron Donald's so much better than him.
Yeah, I think Aaron Donald's going to win. I mean, the big number again. We talk about people that are super stat centric, and he's leading the league in sacks. I think that matters, and because you can't give it to Von Miller or Chandler Jones or Myles Garrett, you can't give it to them. Khalil Mack obviously he's a wrecking ball.
Yeah.
And even though his numbers don't add up, we see the impact plays that he's making, and that's why he's in the discussion for me. So I think Donald's going to win, man. I think because of the numbers helping him, he's going to win.
I'm not trying to be shady at all, but this J.J. Watt resurgence.
Get him out of here.
Okay.
Listen, did you notice how I purposefully didn't say anything about him?
I did. I noticed.
Like, get him out of here.
All right. I think it should.
Get him out. Get him. Are you kidding me? Get him out of here.
Let's talk about the man who created the problem with all those Khalil Mack jerseys in the city where you live, John Gruden. John Gruden lost to the Chiefs on Sunday, and inside the 2 minutes, he tried to challenge a call. The day after, John Gruden said, I threw a challenge flag with 7 seconds left yesterday. I knew exactly what I was doing, by the way. It wasn't a very sensible thing to do. Those are back-to-back sentences. I wanted to challenge Al in New York City because I have people in the press box telling me it's not a catch. Seeing plays overturned by somebody you can't even see. I thought with 3 timeouts and 7 seconds left, I'd use one of my timeouts by giving Al a little extra time to look at that. But I knew exactly what I was doing.
He doesn't know what he's doing.
Yo, 9 more years.
He doesn't know what he's doing.
This is getting, but now it's gone from like, oh, this is kind of cheeky and amusing to like, oh, Grandpa's drunk behind the wheel.
Yeah, you got to take away the keys.
9 more years, Felder.
And they can't take the keys away.
$90 million.
Listen, this is the guy that people wanted to coach Tennessee. This is a joke.
No, I'll always believe that no one that every grassroots movement to hire John Gruden was started by his agent.
I don't think so.
Because it always resulted in him making more, at least the first few. Because it always resulted in him just getting a bigger contract from ESPN. That's
but
all.
I think that's a byproduct. I think people genuinely want to hire him.
He has not won a playoff game since I was a senior in high school. Since January 2003.
Yeah. He's bad. I'm glad he came back to be bad. We don't have to pretend like he's super good. We're done.
He really did ruin any sort of legacy he had. It's over.
We don't have to watch Gruden's QB camp anymore either. I don't have to have idiot fans that didn't watch any of a guy playing college tweet at me about how I saw him on QB camp and I think this. I'm like, oh, guess what? I don't care.
If you guys are wondering what it's like when a guy gets a lot of NFL hype and no college writers ever talking about him, last year is a really good example.
Mm-hmm.
Last year was a really good example. It was really funny to watch because that fuzzy line between college and NFL writer became very stark.
Yep. At Baker Mayfield, real G, love him. He's, guess what? Doing pretty well. Then what? Josh Allen? No.
I didn't hear his name all fall until the evaluators came up. It's Josh Allen. I'm like, excuse me?
Nobody. Here's the thing. There's 2 reasons why. One, he played at Wyoming. Nobody watches Wyoming except me, probably.
Fact.
And then number 2, he wasn't good. They were a team led by their defense, and he made some terrible plays all the time.
Fact.
And then there's Sam Darnold, who, again, man, he lost a lot of football games. Not lost as in the number of games he lost, but lost as in this is your fault that we didn't win.
His play directly resulted in him not winning the football game.
He led college football in turnovers. What?
If you guys are wondering about a prospect, go to the college writers first. Trust me. Just do it.
Yeah.
Particularly in quarterbacks. Aaron Rodgers allegedly got Mike McCarthy fired. I don't think he got him fired, but I don't think it was a him or me thing, but you're right. He created a situation where he had to be fired. Yeah. Also, to be fair, Mike McCarthy slant flat.
Yeah, he's not good.
Yeah, I was like, all this. I know the coaches fraternities leapt to the defense of McCarthy, and the players guys are all saying, "Well, Aaron did it." They can both be kind of in the wrong, but let's not defend Matt McCarthy on the strength of he's a great play caller.
He's not.
He's not.
And I saw the note, Mark Jamira, man.
Yo. All right, so
you don't get to sit in a hot tub with young teen girls and then also have an opinion.
That was where I was too. I was like, okay, sir. I was in high school when that happened.
Yeah.
For those who don't know, Mike Shermer was accused of some untoward acts with underage women in a hot tub. He was found not guilty, but after the trial, he said, I behaved as a father and husband shouldn't in this situation. You tell me.
Listen, man, I'm not even saying that. Here's the thing. I'm 34. You're not going to catch me in a hot tub with young teen girls. Not happening. Not even in a hotel hot tub.
Yo, I'm 33.
If they come into the pool area, I'm leaving.
I don't talk to people younger than 27.
They got nothing for me.
I just, come on, guys.
They literally, I'm not lying, Deep Palm. If they come into the pool area,
y'all couldn't find a better quote than Mark Shermer.
I mean, I don't know. It's just one of those things where they clearly
who's going to use vaguely racist language. We think
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers is an NBA-type coach killer. He's never watched the NBA. He means
Right.
So let's handle that first. Secondly, of all the moral arbiters you could trot out, this is not the one.
No.
Is he doing how is he living publicly enough to where he's the go-to guy?
Does he do stuff? I think he does work in Green Bay, doesn't he?
And no one's asking any questions?
He's Green Bay, man. They love him.
He was living in Green Bay when he went on trial.
Yeah, and he didn't, and he got off.
Wow. That's a level of trust in the justice system I can't agree. I can't even begin to relate to.
Yeah, he hosts the Packers pregame in Milwaukee.
All right, let's do this. Let's talk about college football. Let's get this one out of the way too. I've heard a lot of
this one out of the way.
I don't like you. I've heard a lot of voices, particularly where I live, making the specious case for Georgia to be in the playoff, that they had proven something by losing again to Alabama. Just explain to them why they're wrong. I don't want to do it.
Y'all, they lost twice, and they got smashed by LSU. Like, no, get out of here. LSU's not good. I don't care if they have only lost 3 games by their name or what number they're ranked. They're not good. You lose to them. You lost it. Here's the thing. This is the reason Georgia can't be in the playoff. Their coaching staff is bad. They're bad at coaching football. In the LSU game, you're running out of 11 personnel. It's working because you force LSU to have a smaller package in the game. You can spread them out with Isaac Nauta, and he could still crash down and get an extra block. And you're running the football. And then you just stop doing it, and you decide that Jake Fromm is Joe Montana against, let's be real, the best secondary in the country. And guess what?
I thought it was like a drive and a half of 11 personnel, then we never did it again.
Like, then you're trying to throw the ball against Georgia's wide receivers aren't good. They don't get open.
Nope.
They can be schemed open, but they do not get them. And you couldn't get open against LSU. And then LSU flipped to zone Dawgs, and Fromm's completely confused. So you're done. The Alabama game, you should, instead of worrying about the playoff, you should be more upset that you didn't win a game that you probably should have won by almost 3 touchdowns, but you lost that game. That's horrible. That's horrible. The game plan, I can't put them in the playoff because I don't trust this coaching staff to do anything right.
Can we stop saying coaching staff and just say Jim Chaney?
Yeah, Jim Chaney.
Okay. Right.
Well, no, because Kirby Smart also has to approve this stuff.
Look, Mel's leaving. I've got a lot of stuff going on. Let's just say Jim Chaney for right now.
Here's the thing. Why do you put Justin Fields in the game?
Felder, if I can't answer the question, I don't know why you're asking me. Like, you want me to just throw? Why would you, Felder? I don't know. You shouldn't.
So what you're basically what they're telling me is, we'd rather have 2 downs to get 10 or 11 yards because we know he also lost some yards. We'll have 2 downs to get 11 yards instead of the 3 downs that it usually takes. That's crazy.
So the reason they're playing Fields,
we don't want him to transfer.
No, not want him to. It's apparently been communicated directly that that's if they don't play him, that's what will happen.
Okay.
And they're terrified of it, and that's because they're new at recruiting on this level.
Well, you'll also lose.
Yes.
And you lost for it because you burned up a play for Fromm. And here's the thing that gets me the most. Give him a different freaking number. I don't care if he changes number every damn game. But give him a different number than 1. Number 1 comes in the game. Yeah. That's not even hard for a spotter in the booth. We know up top everyone's got eyes on him for him coming into the game so that Alabama can control their defense and make sure they got the right personnel in and make sure they've got a spy on or whatever it is. But he wears number 1.
It's not a smart coaching staff.
That's not even being that's not even looking is that 16 or 18?
But I think this goes to something you and I have talked about here before, is that coaches these days are recruiters first and coaches maybe 5th.
Sure.
And they've done a very good job at Georgia in recruiting.
Yeah.
And then you watch it on Saturdays and you're like, oh, this team has overwhelming talent. Why is
I will say they also lack some talent defensively.
but they make up, I think they make up for it with
Great technique,
departing Mel
sound
Tucker.
play. But I think like they can't get to the quarterback consistently is my issue. I love the secondary. I love the way that they play in terms of gap fits, but they burned up getting to the quarterback pretty quickly. Alabama was able to pick up those pressures after the first quarter. And did they really think that 28 points was going to be enough?
That Jim Chaney.
28 points is going to be enough. So let's just cruise from now on.
Look, and so that's what's even crazier for me is that this is the Georgia team that was supposed to be the year before the team.
Yeah.
That we saw. I've already touted the number of returning scholarship players next year. It's I think it's 63. Like the recruiting classes have been amazing. This was a gimme year, and it was. But the thing is, in the gimme year, they're in a position to go to the playoff and to knock off Alabama in that game, and they blew it.
Yeah, they blew it. So you don't get in. The fake punt.
Yeah, no.
Here's the thing. I watched it over and over and over and over and over again. Watching Alabama point at Justin Fields, point at the receivers, recognize that the end man on the line is eligible and the two guys off the line are both eligible, and then move over to make sure they have everything covered. And then they didn't call a timeout.
No, just snap the ball.
They didn't call a timeout. They didn't kill it to just punt. They let it all happen, and then wondered why the result didn't work.
To watch Bama, because I haven't watched. I watched it once. Once was enough. Watching Bama in real time figure it out, and then watch us still snap the ball.
Yeah,
it was like a horror movie.
Yeah, it was bad. I mean, literally, oh, you guys and here's the thing. This is the thing. This is why Kirby Smart's whole, well, we had the look. We just, we didn't snap it quick enough. Yeah, but guess what, buddy? Every fake punt has a kill. Every fake punt, you can kill every fake punt. And if you haven't built in a kill for a fake punt, you're not a good coach. Mm-hmm. But even if you haven't built a kill in, you can call a timeout.
They had timeouts left.
You could have called a timeout. They had 2 timeouts left. You could have called a timeout. Instead, you did what you did, and it was very bad.
Heisman's happening tonight.
Yeah.
A worse podcast would probably not mention it at all. A better podcast would have us record 2 answers and then play the one that works. But we're just going to talk about it, not knowing what's going to happen. I've got Tua.
No.
Okay.
If he wins, I'm going to be very disappointed.
Why?
Because Kyler Murray's been better than any guy that can win the Heisman. He's been better.
When you look at what Tua, I see what you're saying. I get it. I get what you're saying. Tua wasn't playing the second half of games.
Okay, because they played a bunch of bum-ass teams. Right.
Oklahoma wasn't playing a murderer's row.
Right. But they needed every ounce of Kyler to get it done, and he gave them everything he had.
I see what you're saying. All right.
They needed him, and he had to perform. This wasn't a take an off day, hey, I'll sit on the sidelines. Listen, I got in 4 quarters, I've got to do a bunch of different stuff to win, and he did everything.
So people are now making the statements that, if he's projected as a first rounder, he may stay with football and not go to the baseball to honor the contract he signed with the A's.
Was he going to give all the money back?
That was my next question. This is just Boris driving up any potential extra money, right?
Yeah. Listen, somebody's going to draft him, not in the first round. They'll probably draft him on the 3rd day because they recognize that he is going to play baseball. He's a smart kid. I think Kyler Murray is 2 games away from achieving everything that he wants to achieve from a football standpoint. The goal for him, and this is, I don't know him super well, but I do know him and sat in a room and talked with him. I've gotten to talk to people around him before. Kyler Murray's, I don't know that the NFL is as high on his radar as on his goal list as winning a college football championship, as proving that he is the greatest quarterback to ever pick up a football from the state of Texas, and playing Major League Baseball. He's always been a baseball player. happened to be, and I don't mind saying this, he happened to be the most supremely talented person to ever pick up a football. Because here's the thing, you know this, I know this, most people don't know this. To be a 5-star quarterback recruit at 5'10" is an impossible thing to achieve, and he did it.
Is he legit 5'10"?
No.
I didn't think. That's the thing that kills me is that I know he's not.
He's shorter than that.
I know he is. Like he's got. Oh my god.
He's not taller than I am, and I'm 5'10".
Oh my god. I knew it. Like it's one of the things you just watch him play. I'm like, that's not 5'10".
But think about how good he has to be.
Yeah.
Because listen, they're falling. Recruiting services are falling all over themselves to give a guy like Jacob Eason 5-star, right?
Right.
Because he's 6'5", 230.
You can look at the numbers and say 5-star.
Right. You look at those and it says 5-star. Trevor Lawrence, 6'5", 5-star. Justin Fields, 6'4", 5 stars. They want to give him 5 stars. They want, those are the guys that they want because those are the guys that project the easiest to the NFL. For a 5'10" guy to get it, get out of there. Oh, and by the way, if Alabama would have played in that Cotton Bowl in Jerry's World, you know Kyler Murray's undefeated there, right?
You think they can get Bama? That was my next question.
I think they're going to beat Alabama.
Wow.
Come on, man. If Georgia's passing attack can decimate that Alabama secondary, what do you
for a half?
Guess what? Lincoln Riley's not going to stop till he gets 55 points.
Oh.
That's the difference. And you know that. You're a Georgia fan. You know he won't stop. Georgia had to do something they had never done to win that game.
It wasn't a shift. It was just a blip on the radar. It was like it never happened. Because you would think that after last year's playoff, this team would have learned that.
Yeah, and they didn't.
Keep scoring points. Always score points. Never stop scoring. Don't throw away drives.
Yeah.
Open frames. We talked about during the game. Open frames. This is a team full of open frames. And Alabama may not hit a strike every frame, but they picked up every spare.
Yeah. And the thing is, like right now, I'm picking Oklahoma to win this matchup. I'm still kind of undecided about them versus Clemson in the playoff because Clemson's defense is so good.
Yeah.
Alabama's defense is not so good. Alabama has 4 guys that are really, really good. 5 guys that are really good. They have Quinnen Williams, Raekwon Davis, Buggs. I like Anthony Jennings, and then they have Deontay Thompson?
Yeah.
The rest of those guys, take them or leave them. Mac Wilson and their linebackers completely disappeared during the Georgia game.
I would think some of that is the Georgia offense.
Sure, but the point that I'm making is you can't disappear.
Right.
You want to be good all the time. Don't just show up against Mississippi State and Ole Miss. Don't show up against Arkansas and dump your chest.
So just to talk about the playoff, how badly Clemson smashing Notre Dame? Because this is going to be a bloodletting.
So, I don't think so.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. I think this Notre Dame team was better last year.
No, I don't think they were better last year. I think they had a little bit better offensive line, but this offensive line is still pretty good. They probably have 2 more first-round picks, not this year, but next year on this offensive line.
Okay.
And I love Dexter Williams. Jafar and Tony should be healthy, so that gives them 3 guys to go on the run. Miles Boykin is way better this year than a year ago. Chase Claypool has come on strong. They still have Alize Mack. So I think they can challenge this Clemson secondary. But I think the goal for Notre Dame is on the other side, is to confuse this guy. Trevor Lawrence doesn't know what he's doing.
That's the biggest thing for me is that I know watching Trevor Lawrence, I'm like, oh, he's good, but he's very much a freshman.
Yeah, and it makes me irate how people are giving him credit for not doing anything. He hasn't done anything. He's made 4 or 5 really, really good throws. He doesn't move in the pocket well. He doesn't feel where pressure's coming from. He can't read a blitz. He doesn't throw into the teeth of a blitz after. He doesn't make any checks at the line. He doesn't do anything.
He manages that offense, and managing that offense is going to score you points.
And then they have another problem too, by the way.
And what's that?
Travis Etienne can't block, which means when he's in the game, you know that he's getting the football. This is the thing that I've been clocking all season. When he's in the game, there are essentially 3 plays. Him getting the football on a run, them setting up a pass to him, or them working an immediate play action. That's it. Because every time they've tried to drop back with him in pass pro, he gets destroyed or he whiffs, but either way it turns into a sack or a pressure.
So we think, but do you think Clemson gets out of this game?
Yeah, I think Clemson wins.
Clemson gets out. So you've got Oklahoma-Clemson as the final.
Yeah, and I'm undecided on who wins that one because, again, that Clemson defense is their next level. I think the only defense there's only 2 defenses that come close to them, and obviously I think only one now. I think Miami's defense is very close to Clemson. I think Clemson has a few more playmakers in big spots, but I think overall Miami's defense sits up with them. I think Michigan's defense, I think they were close up until they got embarrassed, obviously. I mean, they got smoked.
But naked.
They got smoked.
Hey, before I start talking about the biggest news of the week, I do want to give a shout out to DeAndre Baker winning the Thorpe Award.
I love
best DB in the nation.
Love him.
Great player.
He's so great.
Just great. It was really nice not to have to worry about half a field most of the season.
Bingo. He's great.
Just took it away. Just wasn't.
Account's going to be a superstar.
God, it's gonna be great. Let's talk about it. Urban Meyer stepping down, leaving his second, I guess, kind of top 5 job, retiring again for health reasons. We saw what happened in Florida. We saw kind of, and like you and I were playing college football at that time when things were happening in Florida. That world's not that big. Rumors flew all over the place. A lot of those rumors have proven to be true.
Yeah.
As you saw what happened to the program when he left there. Do we think he's left Ohio State in a better spot?
Yeah, I think they're in a better spot. I think that's one of those things where he wanted to make sure that didn't happen to him again.
Okay.
And by the way, let me just preface this. When I say happen to him, I'm saying this as Urban Meyer, not how I feel.
Right.
Like personally, I think that he did some real bad things to that school and allowed bad things to happen there. But the way that he views stuff is it all happens to him.
Yeah, he's very much a victim in a lot of things that happen in his own brain.
So he doesn't want those things to happen to him again. So he set up Ryan Day. He set up their recruiting. He set all this stuff up so that no one can say that he didn't do a good job when he was. That's very important to him.
Let's talk about Ryan Day for a second. Obviously, the offense has been what it has been at Ohio State. I think they're parting with Luciano probably. Do you think that this is going to be his job? Because this is the Ohio State job, and this is not just the Ohio State job where you're kind of coasting on legacy. It's the Ohio State job that is competitive to be in the playoff every year.
Yeah, I mean, it's his job. It's his job. His whole goal is to make them not fire him. And I think he's going to be fine. He's a good coach, man. Like he is.
Okay.
He's a hell of a football coach. Like he's worked for guys that I don't like. It's cool that you work for Urban Meyer. I don't think that Urban Meyer makes other coaches the way that Saban maybe does.
Right.
I think Dan Mullen was a good coach on his own. That Urban Meyer found. I think the same thing with Tom Herman.
Yeah.
I think the same thing with Tom Herman in terms of what he does offensively. Don't know if Tom Herman is actually a good coach, but I do know that he's a very good offensive mind. I think Ryan Day was always going to be a good coach. This is a guy that worked for Jeff Jagosinski.
Okay. Oh.
He worked with Steve Logan. Like he worked with some real deal like coaches that I trust and love. Like he's worked with some real coaches.
Well, let's talk about the departing Urban Meyer. He's leaving Columbus 82-9, 54-4 in conference play, national title in 2014, 3 Big Ten championships, and undefeated against Michigan.
Yeah.
And then like there's this huge, massive fucking asterisk because he enabled a woman beater and then lied about it and then bitched about the 3-game suspension he got.
Yeah. Again, because he's the victim. It's why is this happening to me? I give you wins. I give you good football. Why are you doing this to me?
I will say this. I think you're right. I think that he, at least as far as we know, as far as he's showing us, we think that the Ohio State situation is in a better situation than he left Florida. Do you think this is his last coaching job? Because I've heard a rumor or a theory that's been floating around for a couple of months now that the pieces finally are in place for it. The theory was Urban Meyer to Green Bay.
Oh, wow.
It was going to be – no, it was Urban Meyer to Green Bay. Who was Ohio State, though? I forget how – the bottom line was there's a lot of these moving pieces and the answers and it all kind of pivoted on the idea that Urban Meyer's not done.
Yeah, he's done. I think he's done. I really do. Like, I fully, truly believe that he is done.
Why? Just it feels like there's nothing to win for him for coming back?
I don't I don't know. Like, I think you stink of desperation if you go try to coax him back. I think he's done.
We know college programs love being desperate.
Absolutely. Which is why Les Miles and Mac Brown have a job.
I'm not going to go to Les, but it's your alma mater. You played there. Mac Brown's back at UNC.
Nothing has stood out to me how moronic UNC fans are than this Mac Brown situation. Every week I do radio in Charlotte and in Austin, Texas. And in Austin, Texas, they are laughing hysterically at this. And in North Carolina, people think this is a good move. It's so bananas to see how disconnected from real actual college football these people are. And then to see them get combative with me because I'm telling them you need to pump your brakes. It's frustrating.
Is this just a naked kind of nostalgia play from UNC?
I think there's a combination of Mac Brown being able to rally the donors to put up the money for the buyout and it all being tied to him being named the coach, which obviously is nostalgia for them. We were good in 1997. Great. Mac hasn't recruited since 2007. Well, he went to the national championship in 2009. Yeah. And then after that, they fell off the map. Because the kids he recruited in 2007 signed in 2008, 2009, because all he was doing was junior days.
Yeah.
Not pounding the pavement, not evaluating kids on senior seasons.
And look, man, good luck to the alma mater, but I'm going to tell you right now.
They don't need good luck. They're bad. It's
this
bad.
This is not the answer.
No, they're going to be bad. It's going to go bad for them. I don't think they know, but they don't know that this is bad, and they don't know enough about football for it to matter. So who cares?
Man, I do appreciate you coming on. Tell everyone where they can find you, man.
You can find me at watchstadium.com or on Twitter at watchstadium. Obviously on Facebook as well at watchstadium. And of course, I'm on Twitter myself at in the bleachers. On Instagram, I'm at It's Felder. Almost got that one mixed up. But yeah, it's doing college football, and they let me really do my thing. So I get to use a touch screen. I get to, I got to sit down with like Anquan Bolden this week to talk about his last game against Florida. Got to sit down with Frank Beamer, Mark Hertzlick. Got to talk to CJ Spiller and Devin Hester about actual football, not like them like gassing me up, but like watching football, breaking down plays. So if you guys want actual football content, holler at your boy. Like that's all I do now. Like I don't play narratives, baby. Let's talk football.
That's why I always enjoy when you and I are watching the same game on Twitter. I have someone to talk actually about football with.
Yes.
And that's why I like all the stuff you're doing, because it feels like I'm sitting with you talking about football. It's so much fun. It's
just football. We did an Army-Navy thing for the game that they're playing. And someone asked me, why has Navy been so dominant? I was like, okay, well, I can show you 3 plays why they've been dominant. One, they fire off the ball and actually block people. Like this isn't just cut blocks. They are blocking people, moving the line of scrimmage backwards. Like they're doing it. So they're going to destroy Navy.
Speaking of the triple option, happy trails to Paul Johnson.
Yeah.
Before we get out of here, I have one last thing to ask you. Georgia's not a great football team, but they're definitely better than Texas, right?
Yeah, they should beat Texas, but man, Listen, I don't put a lot of stock in heart or effort, but this Texas team, man, there's some fighting some bitches. Like and I'm not talking. And I guess the thing is, it's not heart and effort. They have a lot of talent on that team. They're not super good, but they're a football team that knows they're not good, so they do everything the hard way, and that's something that's going to be interesting against Georgia. Like Texas does everything the hard way. Their best play is QB power.
Honestly against this Georgia defense, I feel okay about that. Like I think talent wise, I think Georgia's got more talent. And if you want to play that, we'll hit you game. Like we're gonna hit you first.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you what, Colin Johnson and Lil Jordan Humphrey against DeAndre Baker are going to be really fun to watch.
No, it won't, because they won't throw to him. Because if they're smart,
they will throw to him because they don't have. That's what I'm saying. They do everything the hard way.
Please throw to DeAndre Baker.
They're not good enough to avoid things and still be productive.
Please throw to DeAndre Baker. That's all I want for this New Year's Day is DeAndre Baker. Just throw to DeAndre Baker a couple times.
Oh, I think I'll be in the office on New Year's Day.
I'll be on the couch. This has been UD Pod. I'm your host, D-Palm. Follow me on Twitter at DPalm66. Follow the show on Twitter at UD Pod. Follow the entire MTR Network at the MTR Network. That was your show. Every outro this month, because I care about these more than you guys have any idea about, is a variation, is a instrumental from a Christmas song I actually like. Last week it was Run the Jewels, Christmas Miracle. This week it's Players Ball because it's a Christmas song. This is your outro. Peace.